We have a student.
Guess, the SUV, maybe like a Beamer or something, and it had like rims, tinted windows, and I was like, oh, that's like a pretty cool car. And then
All very, very important part of the I have a very important guest with me right now, somebody that I hope can bring us more insight. I am with, will you pronounce your name? Inan? Enon.
Enon Harsh.
Enon Harsh, also known as Chef Dizzy, as you see there. Enon is a very, very important part of this Moscow homicide investigation because he was a neighbor of the 4 victims who lived on King Street. And I just want you to share with us what you know. Many also have heard of the neighbor that possibly heard a scream. This, that person that I have with me now. So let everyone know this is going on. We'll try to take some questions as well, but right now I'm going to start with my questions because I have a lot of them. I want to thank you for being here. And first off, I think we should just start by taking us back to that night. The things I've heard in the news from you, Enon, are that it was an unexpectedly quiet night. Um, you wrote about the crime on social media, and share what you remember from that night. Is that a good place for us to start right now?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So, I work about like 10, usually like 9 to 11 hour shifts. So I went to work. I got off around, I think it was around 12 that night. It was kind of like a late close, and I like bullshitted with like a coworker for a little while after work, and then I went home. It was around, I don't know, like 1:30, 2-ish a.m. Is maybe when I got home, maybe and I always I'm always like kind of hoping that I have like a parking spot right in front of my door when I get there, because like lots of times on campus, there's like parties and like they're pretty full. And so like this time I noticed that like, I don't know, it wasn't really any cars as usual. I was like, cool, I'm gonna get a nice spot right in front. And there was like I did, and I saw like this sort of like kind of like decked out like luxury, like I thought it was black SUV, maybe like a Beamer or something, and it had like rims, tinted windows, and I was like, oh, that's like a pretty cool car. And then like coming out, like I noticed some like plates from like Arizona, I want to say, or Montana. There's kind of like it's like I'm always like kind of curious what kind of like different plates are like around and stuff, because usually you just see like Idaho, especially in like my parking lot. And so like I came in, and it was like surprisingly like pretty empty that night. Like none of the houses and like that on those like 2 streets were having parties, which was like kind of unusual. And then I went home. It's like making some tea, just like doing some contact staff drills, and like stretching. I think I played a game of League, and then I went to bed, and then as I was falling asleep. It usually takes me like 30 minutes to an hour to fall asleep. Like, I don't know, I guess, I dismissed like initially like, one of my neighbors returning hello after me. So I heard like, a car shut, a door shut, and then like, apartment door shut, and like also, like a scream. But like, that's like normal. Like I always hear like screaming almost every Saturday night. So like, I didn't really like think of it. And so, but like, yeah, just looking back, I was like, I wonder if like, that wasn't just like some drunk dude like screaming, like it's actually like the murder. And yeah, and it was like, it was kind of a trip having like the cops like come on, and like when knew what happened, they're just like asking where we were, and we're like, this is weird. Like they're knocking on every single door in our apartment, like that's never happened before. And then like I
Wow.
went inside and looked on the news, and it was like 4 people stabbed to death. I was like, it's like right across the street. It was like, holy shit. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. Um, wow, yeah. When did you hear about it? Was it those knocks on the door? You woke up the next day? Did these knocks on
Uh,
your apartment door
well, I
wake
was
up? How did you
already
learn about it?
I was already awake. I was just like woke up a little bit. I was still like drinking coffee, and like the cops knocked on my door, and like after they asked me some questions, like right after they left and started like they were starting to talk to the next door over. I looked on my phone and Googled it and found it pretty much instantly, and that's when I knew. And then I think it was like I don't know a couple days later when we like the names were released and we like found out who it was or whatever.
Okay, that was like, did you initially know that you knew them at all, or did you just know the
No, actually,
neighbors?
when I first saw it, I saw the picture I saw. I thought it was actually the house, like the next house over. I was like, oh. But then when I found out it was like, the house of the people that I like, I don't want to say I knew them, but I was like, I met them. Um, then I was like, damn. And I don't know, it was kind of sad because actually, like they were super cool. Like I really like my neighbors. Um,
Yeah, you'd met them, is that correct?
yeah.
You'd met Kaylee and, who else had you met?
I think it was Santa and her boyfriend.
Okay, okay.
And I think there was like some other people there, but I'm really bad with names. So like I think those like I had to like look at online like the faces to try to like remember them because it was just like it was super brief. But yeah, they were super nice. They're super friendly. Like I
Yeah,
don't know,
yeah,
they're
you
they're,
remember
they're
them.
like the best neighbors you could want.
Um, I have a question here that you mentioned, hearing a lot of sounds typically from the neighbors. Is this because it's highly populated, poorly insulated? Tell us a little bit about the neighborhood, because a lot of us, all we see is only on the news. We're trying to grasp what this
I guess
neighborhood
you
is
could
like.
I guess you would say it's kind of like an amphitheater here. It's like they live kind of like down like the hill, and then it's like a big open space. Everything's made of wood for the most part, and like they would have little like gatherings outside on their like in the back door, and so I mean, and then they're like drinking a little bit and Greek row, so it's like yeah, you can usually hear like parties and like just like uh social drinking chatter, like around the block or whatever, like usually on weekends. It's kind of like similar vibe of like what you'd think of like a small downtown city. Like, but yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Frat houses, too, fraternity homes probably have a decent amount of parties going on if it's a college
Yeah.
town. Is
And
that
us the block parties are kind of popular too. Like they'll kind of like like get in big crowds and then kind of like wander around. You know what I mean? Just like go throughout campus and stuff. Not so much lately, but like you go from like sometimes they only stay at a house for like an hour or two, and then they like kind of like wander around and stuff.
that that
I
makes
guess in
sense.
the winter a little bit less, but yeah.
Okay. And are
They
you
were.
oh, go ahead.
Oh,
Yeah, what
sorry,
time
to
was the
reply to the
knock?
question. They
Yeah,
were
what
at like I want to say 1 ish p.m. 1:30
okay. So
from
shortly
the.
after the police were called then, in other words.
Yeah, they came almost instantly. It was a
Okay.
big deal.
We have another question here. Are you a student? How long have you lived there?
What's up, guys? Um, so definitely an interesting interview. I definitely want to hear what this guy has to say. Um, JP, I don't know anybody else say anything about that, about not being able to chat in my live stream. So I'm thinking maybe you need to update your YouTube app, or could it just been a glitch from, from YouTube or something, man. Um, I have no clue. I really don't know. I guess that's kind of for anybody, if anybody's experiencing that. I used to think that I was like shadow banned or whatever, and but that was when I was doing things on like the New Zealand things, or on like all these FEMA capstone events that were being put on back then. So I don't think I'm shadow banned anymore. But good to see that you can message now. Is this about John X? No, no, no. This is about the Idaho before. This is the neighbor from across the street, and I haven't seen it. This is live going on right now, and I just get a weird vibe from him. I understand he's nervous. This is it's a pretty big channel that he's on or whatever. So, but what does he get out of going online to speak about this crime that has not even produced a suspect yet? I mean, unless he has something bombshell, I mean, he should. There's to go for that, So I'm not sure. So I wanted to hear it.
I'm not a student. I've been cooking for like 6 years now, 5 years.
He just said right now he is not a student. That is interesting to me. That is very interesting. What? Okay, so she's a chef. He's a cook out there. Okay. I mean, you can do that. That's fine. Just kind of weird to me. Has he always had? Did he just cut his hair? I'm just asking questions. Did he just cut his hair, or has he always had a buzz cut? I'm not sure.
Okay.
I've lived here off and on for 20. What was the last question? I missed it.
Let's see. It was, are you familiar with the activities at the house? I assume they mean the crime scene. Like, you were at their
Is it better when I talk right here?
when you met them, right? I'm referring
No,
to a Reddit.
I read them.
thing
They were
you
actually outside. I never went inside.
Okay.
But no, I didn't. Like. I was in my apartment all night. So
Okay, the night
uh,
of the murders or the crime, you were in your
yeah,
apartment all
I
night.
never really hung out with.
Okay, that was kind of weird. A weird interaction right there. Seems like he kind of tried to drift away from the actual question. So let's go back a little bit.
When you met them, right? I'm referring
No,
to a Reddit.
I read
thing
them. They were actually outside. I never went inside.
Okay.
But no, I didn't like.
We have another question here. Are you a student? How long have you lived there?
I'm not a student. I've been cooking for like 6 years now, 5 years.
Okay.
I've lived here off and on for 20.
Is that a sore on his, or is it a cut? Or am I seeing things? Scratch.
20. What was the last question? I missed it.
Let's see. It was, are you familiar with the activities at the house? I assume they mean the crime scene. Like, you were at their house when you met them, right? I'm referring
No,
to a Reddit.
I read them.
thing
They were actually outside. I never went inside.
Okay.
But
I don't understand. What? One more time. Sorry.
Let's see. It was, are you familiar with the activities at the house? I assume they mean the crime scene. Like, you were at their house when you met them, right? I'm referring
no,
to a Reddit.
I read
thing
them. They were actually outside. I never went inside.
Okay, so the question that was asked was actually a really confusing question. Even the person asking the question didn't really understand the question being asked. So, okay, let's just hear what he has to say.
Scene. Like, you were at their house when you met them, right? I'm referring
no,
to a Reddit.
I read
thing
them. They were actually outside. I never went inside.
Okay.
What he is saying is he met them when they were outside and he has never been inside of that house. I'm pretty sure that's what he is saying right there. There should be no forensic traces of him inside that house. I think that he was trying to clarify that right there.
You were at their house when you met them, right? I'm referring
no,
to a Reddit.
I read them.
thing
They were actually outside. I never went inside.
Okay.
But no, I I didn't like. I was in my apartment all night, so
Okay, the night
uh,
the night of the murders or the crime, you were in your
yeah.
apartment all
I
night?
never really hung out with them. So like, to me they were just like some normal sorority girls that drink every once in a while on the weekends. So
Mhm, mhm. Okay, and, yeah, and when I was asking you about meeting them, I want everybody else to know, you know, and I know, but, you also decided to share an AMA on Reddit recently, which is when I reached out to you, and you did kind of mention meeting them, or at least maybe you think you might have met Xana and her boyfriend, that would be Ethan. Bringing them a bottle of wine perhaps, was that what happened? Or share us can you take us to meeting
yeah,
and
because
what
I
that was
think I
like?
think the person I think I remember most is Kaylee, and like when I introduced myself, I think she was like the first one I shook hands with. And yeah, I just had like this. It was a pretty nice bottle of wine. I don't remember what kind it was, but it was pretty expensive, and I was cooking with it, and I wasn't gonna finish it, and I was like taking my trash out, so I don't remember why I was outside, and they were just like like chit chatting, drinking a little bit, playing some cool music, and so I like was like went down and they were like drinking some beer and I was just like asked her if she wanted this bottle of wine. I wasn't gonna finish this and they were like, yeah, fuck yeah.
Okay, so he specifically just said that he asked her if she wanted it. So clearly he didn't ask um, Ethan if he wanted that bottle. So let's just hear that one more time. This is interesting.
Most is Kaylee, and like when I introduced myself, I think she was like the first one I shook hands with. And yeah, I just had like this. It was a pretty nice bottle of wine. I don't remember what kind it was, but it was pretty expensive, and I was cooking with it, and I wasn't gonna finish it, and I was like taking my trash out, so I don't remember why I was outside, and they were just like like chit chatting, drinking a little bit, playing some cool music, and so I like was like went down and they were like drinking some beer and I was just like asked her if she wanted this bottle of wine. I wasn't gonna finish this and they were like, yeah, fuck yeah. And then I was like, yeah. And then I was just introduced I'm like the neighbor, like I lived upstairs and yeah, that was pretty much it. Yeah, they were super nice and smiley and it's
Did he say when this happened, when he gave him that bottle? Was this the night of? Or was this just a time? Did I miss that? I'll be able to look at your guys' chat right now. I can't really see it right now because I have this overlay where I'm controlling the mic or whatever. And if I take away the overlay that shows me the mic thing, then I'll forget and I'll be talking while it's muted, and it will be a waste of everybody's time.
so they were like drinking some beer and first one I shook hands with. And yeah, I just had like this. It was a pretty nice bottle of wine. I don't remember what kind it was, but it was pretty expensive. And I was cooking with it, and I wasn't gonna finish it. And I was like taking my trash out, so I don't remember why I was outside. And they were just like like chit chatting, drinking a little bit, playing some cool music. And so I like was like went down and they were like drinking some beer, and I was just like asked her if she wanted this bottle of wine. I wasn't gonna finish this, and they were like, yeah, fuck yeah. And then I was like, yeah. And then I was just introduced I'm like the neighbor, like I lived upstairs, and yeah, that was pretty much it. Yeah, they were super nice and smiley, and that's pretty much all I
Yeah,
remember. I
you
never met
referred
him after that. I
okay,
was like, I always thought about crashing their party sometimes, but I never actually like did it. I usually got my own thing going on.
yeah.
But
Yeah, you were
What the fuck? What the fuck did he just say? Why is my headset disconnected? That's weird. Anyways, what the fuck did he just say? Sorry about the cussing. Um, he said I thought about crashing their party one time. Like, let me tell you something, guys. I have never crashed somebody's party. Like, I go to parties where I'm invited to. Like, what the fuck? And why does this guy? I mean, I understand he's not a student, but he kind of looks like he's maybe in his 40s, and he's crashing 20-year-old parties, or he's thinking about it. This guy is suspect as fuck. What is he doing? Why is he on this live stream? I mean, These people are very, very narcissistic, man. Let's continue. And I'm restarting my computer because it's taking a shit on me. So
I
You
never met
refer
him after that. I
okay,
was like, I always thought about crashing their party sometimes, but I never actually like did it.
then bringing them a bottle of wine, perhaps? Was that what happened? Or share us? Can you take us to meeting
Yeah,
and
because
what was it
I
like?
think the person I think I remember most is Kaylee, and like when I introduced myself.
remember that. He said the thing I remember most is Kaylee. I'm sorry, I'm analyzing every single letter he's talking about or he's spewing. What I'm saying is I'm analyzing his words to the letter. Okay, sorry, I'm excited. This is I mean this is the weirdest shit ever. I'm getting weird vibes from this. Sorry, I keep rewinding it, but
To me, they were just like some normal sorority girls that drank every once in a while on the weekends. So
Mhm, mhm. Okay, and, yeah, and when I was asking you about meeting them, I want everybody else to know, you know, and I know, but, you also decided to share an AMA on Reddit recently, which is when I reached out to you and asking you about meeting them.
what the fuck was that look? He's reading the chat, okay? He fucked up. You fucked up, guy. Let me tell you right now, guy. You fucked up. I mean, I'm not saying he's guilty of anything. I'm just saying the internet is going to explode on this guy. Bro, you weren't ready for this. And if you were, you've really made a bad decision by trying to read the chat, bro. He's going to total look at his expression right here, bro. After he reads something,
I want everybody else to know, you know, and I know, but, you also decided to share an AMA on Reddit recently, which is when I reached out to you.
why did he just wink? Why did he just wink? See, I'm already fucking up on the microphone. Why is he winking? Did he do that on purpose, or did he do that like when somebody's not sure of what they're looking at, so they like they want to focus in even more? Like, what did he just read? I don't know. I went back. We're back from we're like behind in the live stream, so I can hit the chat to open it up right now, but we won't be able to see what he was reading at that time. Not until the live stream is over and it replays. Anyways, what the? Oh my god, this guy's weird.
Meeting.
to me, they were just like some normal sorority girls that drank every once in a while on the weekends. So
Mhm, mhm. Okay, and, yeah, and when I was asking you about meeting them, I want everybody else to know, you know, and I know, but, you also decided to share an AMA on Reddit recently, which is when I reached out to you, and you did kind of mention meeting them, or at least Kaylee, and maybe you think you might have met Xana and her boyfriend, that would be Ethan. Bringing them a bottle of wine, perhaps? Was that what happened? Or share us can you take us to meeting
yeah,
and
because
what was it
I
like?
think the person I think I remember most is Kaylee, and like when I introduced myself, I think she was like the first one I shook hands with. And yeah, I just had like this. It was a pretty nice bottle of wine. I don't remember what kind it was, but it was pretty expensive. And I was cooking with it, and I wasn't gonna finish it. And I was like taking my trash out, so I don't remember where I was outside. And then they were just like like chit chatting, drinking a little bit, playing some cool music. And so I like was like went down, and they were like drinking some beer, and I was just like asked her if she wanted this bottle of wine. I wasn't gonna finish this, and they were like, "Yeah, fuck yeah." And then I was like, "Yeah," and then I was just introduced them, like the neighbor, like lived upstairs, and yeah, that was pretty much it. Yeah, they were super nice and smiley.
What is this? He is not a student, okay? So what is this graph that he has back here? What the fuck is this, bro? I mean, I don't know, man. I'm already wondering what the fuck. Straps. What do you need straps for, bro? You don't look like somebody that has a truck that needs straps. And if you did have a truck that needed straps, why aren't your straps in your truck? This guy is killing me right now.
That's pretty much all I
Yeah.
remember. I
You
never met
referred
him after that. I
okay.
was like, I always thought about crashing their party sometimes, but I never actually like did it. I usually got my own thing going on.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, you referred to them in the Reddit AMA as beautiful, joyful. I can't remember the other two adjectives, but
yeah,
that yeah.
yeah, they seem very cool. My
Yeah.
yeah, and some of my coworkers actually went to high school with them in Coeur d'Alene, so it's like it's a trip for us. So yeah, and they said they're super cool too. So it's crazy that it's like as you think when you think about these people getting stabbed, it's kind of like horrifying because it makes you think that it can happen to anyone, like not just like people who are doing some shit, you know what I mean, like just like normal people every day. And I think that's the really like spooky scary part right now to some people.
Yeah. What's your thought about the luxury SUV now looking back? You probably didn't think too much of it then. In any ideas?
No, not really. It was like it's pretty decked out. I think how like rims, tinted windows. It just looked like a cool car, and that's why I noticed it. But I didn't like, I just assumed it was like one of the people's parents, like
What is this about a luxury SUV? What are we talking about here? I know that Kaylee or one of them just got a new car and does not live there and was just visiting to show her best friend her new car. Was it a luxury car? I mean, I don't care. I don't care. And why is he even talking about this? What is the relevance? Oh my gosh, I'm so. I got my chat up and running, and I'm gonna get people modded up right now. So just give me about 2 minutes on that.
a lot of the students here, how like rims people every day. And I think that's the
Can't remember the other two adjectives, but
yeah,
that yeah.
yeah, they seem very cool. My
Yeah.
yeah, and some of my coworkers actually went to high school with them in Coeur d'Alene, so it's like it's a trip. So yeah, and they said they're super cool too. So it's crazy that it's like as you think when you think about these people getting stabbed, it's kind of like horrifying because it makes you think that it can happen to anyone, like not just like people who are doing some shit, you know what I mean, like just like normal people every day.
Doing some shit. What do you mean by that? Interviewer, please come on! Cut him off sometimes. Ask him why he's fucking telling us.
Like, it's kind of like horrifying because it makes you think that it can happen to anyone, like not just like people who are doing some shit, you know what I mean, like just like normal people every day. And I think that's the really like spooky scary part right now to some people.
Yeah. What's your thought about the luxury SUV now looking back? You probably didn't think too much of it then. In any ideas?
No, not really.
How did she even approach him with that question? Like, he is a neighbor that doesn't really even know them. And then she asks him this question, this like poignant question about an SUV that is. Let's just see what he says.
It's like
Yeah. What's your thought about the luxury SUV now looking back? You probably didn't think too much of it then. In any ideas?
no, not really. It was like it's pretty decked out.
Is the SUV missing or something? Was it in the driveway? Because I don't remember any luxury vehicles in that driveway the day after when they closed off that crime scene. I remember an SUV. It was like a Ford Escape or something. Um, Not even a Range Rover. Not a Forerunner. Because Forerunners could be nice. The brand new ones, those could be pretty nice SUVs. I remember maybe a Passat, a Volkswagen Passat. Um, I mean, we could go back and search for that or whatever, but that's going to totally throw us off of this interview. So let's not. Let's continue.
What's your thought about the luxury SUV now looking back? You probably didn't think too much of it then. In any ideas?
No, not really. It was like it's pretty decked out. I think how like rims, tinted windows. It just looked like a cool car, and that's why I noticed it. But I didn't like, I just assumed it was like one of the people's parents. Like a lot of the students here have really rich parents, and they have nice cars. So that's just kind of what it like seemed like to me. Um, and I don't know. I saw like I think it was a kind of like a deserty. It might have been. It was either like Arizona. It might even been Colorado, but I think or like Montana. and like I saw one of those cars like parked up on the hill of our lot a lot. I'm wondering if it was a white Elantra. I'm thinking back and I can't remember. Like I don't want to say it was or not, but
Dude, you just fucking said! What the fuck? Why did that Elantra even come up right now, dude? Exactly. 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 If this were a game show, you would be out of there, bro.
that was the only other. It was a kind of like a deserty. It might have been. It was either like Arizona. It might even been Colorado, but I think or like Montana. And like I saw one of those cars like parked up on the hill of our lot a lot. I'm wondering if it was a white Elantra. I'm thinking back and I can't remember. Like I don't want to say it was or not.
Is he confusing a fucking SUV for a white Elantra now? Bro, this guy is confusing the shit out of me. Let me get to chat. Okay, let's look at the chat. What's up, chat? This is the first I've heard of a luxury SUV. Okay, I've heard of her going there with a nice new car that she wanted to show her friends. So yes, I've heard of that. The cops were looking for a big black SUV. Buy. I mean, how do you get a white Elantra mixed up with a black SUV? But I doubt a killer would give themselves front door service to the deed. And I doubt a killer is driving around in a luxury. What are we even? I am so confused, dude. Did the girl drive a luxury SUV? Is that what she bought? And I'm giving you guys moderator tags. Please don't block anybody if anybody comes in here and says something that you don't like or whatever, or you feel like they're saying something about me that you don't like. Just let them go. If I feel like they're out of line, then I will block them. I give you guys mods so that nobody clones your channels, and also so you guys could drop links, relevant links to whatever topic we're talking about, or your channels if you guys are making content. Okay. Let me go all the way back. This is as far back as my chat's letting me go here. Holy sh! I can actually chat today. Okay, I went back all the way. Cool. That vehicle could have been a visitor. If that vehicle was a visitor, they would have been taken off the suspect vehicle right away. JP, they're probably out of state where they came from. Didn't he say out of state plates? Yeah, he did say that. Do you know why there hasn't been a check? Okay. What if that vehicle owner is afraid to come forward because they don't want the murder? Well, I mean, if you're not the murderer, then come forward so you could be proved to not be the murderer. You know, they're not looking to, they're not looking for anybody that was parked on the side smoking a bowl or something. You know what I mean? Let's see. Just going through the chat really quick. Maybe Hoodie Guy was thinking, you won't F me, you'll never F again. Yes, Hoodie Guy is somebody that we need to get into. That dude is fucking weird. And is Hoodie Guy the ex-boyfriend? Is Hoodie Guy Jack S or whatever? I don't know. Can you guys tell me that? Is Hoodie Guy one of the ex-boyfriends? Hey, Ladon. Hey, Stingray. How you doing? Hot Rod. There was an SUV seen in the lot behind the house. The white car was seen on body cam in the front of the house. Okay, have you actually seen that white car on the body cam in the front of the house for yourself? Because I have analyzed the body cam and I've seen cars go by, but I cannot make out any color or any make on that SUV or on that vehicle. So no, I don't think that they got that the white car from the body cam. I think they got the white car from the multiple surveillance systems that all of these houses have. Well, not all of them, but I've done my research on Google Maps, and I mean there are a lot of residences there that have either ring door cameras, which, let me be transparent, I haven't actually identified any ring door camera. I haven't actually, sorry about that. I haven't actually identified ring door cameras myself. I have, I have watched, or I've looked at corner cams, which are cameras people set up for, on the corners of their property, taking a look at, like a diagonal view of the whole property, the front or the back of the property. And I've seen one where you can, instead of having a porch light, they unhooked their porch light and they screwed in a camera. Okay, I've seen that one as well. So I'm sure the FBI has combed that whole area and has a lot of footage to go through. And that's probably where they saw a white car or whatever car they're looking for. I don't think they took that off of the body cam footage because I just couldn't make out. Did you guys see the people walking past the three people that were getting the ticket for drinking? And the cop didn't even acknowledge those guys, like, walking by at 3 in the morning? Like, maybe they could have been hanging out with the three guys that he was ticketing. There might have been 3 other underage people or 4 other underage people walking by back there in the background, but he didn't fucking say anything to them. Man, it's just, I think this Moscow Police Department are, I mean, it's almost like they're student fucking police officers out there. If you hear that cop, he's like, he talks just like them. Like I don't know. Their encounter was unlike my encounters that I've ever had with police, but I don't know. And when I was a minor and drinking, when I was younger, we'd go to this park we'd go at about 10 o'clock at night, and it would be about 30 of us. I mean, we would set this thing up, and a few of us would bring boxing gloves, and a lot of us would bring alcohol, and if people had issues or whatever, and usually it was like within friendships or whatever, somebody was not cool with this other person, so they would squab it out right there in front of everybody. They'd fight it out, and then if they wanted to shake hands afterwards, they would. If they didn't, they didn't. Okay. So, we'd set up fights right there or whatever, and the cops would come, they'd roll up and they'd put the spotlight on us, and I mean, everybody would just run. There's 3 of those people. There's 3 underage kids drinking. Okay, then if they all just spread out, then the cop's only going to be able to focus on one. But whatever, they stopped for the cop. I didn't. When I was underage drinking, I ran and I didn't get a ticket. I'm just saying. But about that guy with the hoodie on in the video of the grub truck, that guy is very fucking weird to me, very suspect, and he looks just like the ex-boyfriend, and then there was the phone calls, all that shit that went on with the phone. Why were they calling him so many times at night? I don't know, man. There was a scream in the background during that body cam interview with the drunk miners. Okay, are you talking about that scream that was debunked as shit? Because if you heard about the scream, I'm not sure if you guys follow Ikid Mail. That dude right there debunked the shit out of that person that's putting out that narrative, and it's been proved that was audio from. Are you talking about are you talking about a scream, or are you talking about the person that says, "Stop! Why are you doing this to me?" Because I'm sorry, I'm getting them mixed up. You said scream, so I do believe there was a scream in the background of the body cam. I don't know. I don't know what to say about that. Like, this cop was just, he was in lala. It was like he took a fucking bong toke before he fucking stopped these kids. I don't know, man. I didn't know it was debunked, wasn't it? Like, Drop. I'll watch this video. Okay, so now we're not talking about a scream. We're talking about that video where they say, "Stop! You're hurting me." Yes, that is super debunked, and it is actually from some domestic issue from some other YouTubers. Yeah, yeah, Stingray. Stingray knows what's up. She says the one that Morris played was a fake recording. Absolutely, yes. Yeah, that was a fake. That was a fake, and it really is like a disservice, a big time disservice to the true crime community and to I hate saying web sleuths. I don't like the term web sleuths, but I mean I'm not sure what else to say for you guys to understand what I'm talking about. But it's just like I don't know. Let's keep going, guys.
That was the only other car I noticed that didn't seem like someone that lives there. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not that observant, but I'm pretty, I'd say more observant than like most people, I guess.
Yeah. Liz is asking, did you know that your coworkers knew them before or after the
No.
murder?
No, one of the next day I went to work, I had one of the dudes talk down and talk to me, like asked me how I was doing and was telling me how like knew some of the people or something, and like it's like, well, that's crazy. But I mean, that's like Coeur d'Alene's pretty local, you know what I mean? So like,
Right.
it's not that far off.
Right. And that's where you work then, is Coeur d'Alene. Is that,
No,
did
I
you say?
work in Moscow. No, I work in
Oh,
Pullman.
you
Sorry.
went to high school with them in Coeur d'Alene and you.
Wait, did he forget where he fucking worked at? Wait, what did he just say?
Asked me how I was doing and was telling me how like knew some of the people or something, and like it's like, well, that's crazy. But I mean, that's like Coeur d'Alene's pretty local, you know what I mean? So like,
Right.
it's not that far off.
Right. And that's where you work then, is Coeur d'Alene. Is that,
No,
did
I
you say?
work in Moscow. No, I work in
Oh,
Pullman.
you
Sorry.
went to high school with them in Coeur d'Alene and you work in Moscow. That makes
No,
more
I
sense.
didn't go to high school with them. One of my coworkers did.
Okay.
I went to school in Pullman.
Okay. All right. Sleuth Mom, it's good to see you. I want to let people know that for those missing, Sleuth Mom does a wonderful job covering important cases. Thanks for being here with us, Sleuth Mom. There's some audio. I wanted to ask you this because you've come forward and said you may or may not have heard a scream. You're thinking about it now, wondering if it was a party sound you heard, or if it was an actual, scream you heard. There has been so much speculation going on, online and social media. I know you know that. You've been a part of that. We'll talk about that later. But there's been some audio making rounds of a scream. And I was just wondering if you could confirm that that was nothing you provided to any media anywhere, because a lot of people are trying
No,
to make connections there.
I didn't hear about it till basically people were telling me and things like this, and I was like, oh, LOL. Yeah, no, complete hoax. Yeah,
Okay.
I have nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
How many views has it got?
It's on multiple channels, so I could
Why are you concerned about views, bro?
there.
I didn't hear about it till basically people were telling me and things like this, and I was like, oh, LOL. Yeah, no, complete hoax. Yeah,
Okay.
I have nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
How many views has it got?
It's on multiple channels, so I couldn't even tell you how many views the
Oh
scream
wow.
has received because there's so many different outlets, not official outlets, but YouTubers.
Yeah, I didn't record anything. I don't see how I would record something after I hear something unless I was already recording, which I wasn't. So
Yeah. You've mentioned that you're an artist and that you're a chef. Do you ever stay up late doing your craft, working on things? Do you ever hear what's going on around the neighborhood ever? If you're up
yeah,
late?
I mean, I don't know. No, I guess not. I mean, I usually listen to something, so I mean, I'm usually like zoned in on whatever I'm doing, but I guess, it's kind of like on like the parties night, like the the like I don't know, the parties are kind of just like noise to me, you know. So like I hear that, and like every once in a while, like I'll hear you know, like somebody return home really late in the night. But I mean, it's like semi-normal, like 3, 4 a.m. Like that's not that late. People go over to people's houses and they hang out for a long time, and then they come home.
3 or 4 a.m. is super fucking late, bud. 1 hour after 4 a.m., the sun's thinking about coming out. I mean, what the fuck, bro?
Home on the weekends. Like that's just like college life, I feel like. And like sometimes I'll just like listen to some music in my bedroom to like kind of like tune out like anybody who's like super, super late or loud. Um, and then sometimes like you'll hear just like people walking down, like I don't know, sometimes yelling, but not like it doesn't happen like I don't know, it's not super, super loud, but it's like, you know, it's campus, it's noisy, but I mean it's like you can hear what's going on, I guess, sort of like was close vicinity, but yeah, it's usually just noise. Like there's nothing like you want to listen to. I guess it's kind of weird. I guess like, you know, you can kind of like our walls are really thin, so like certain places you can hear like certain areas outside or inside, whatever. But I don't know. Do
Dude, your walls are not as thin as your fucking windows, I'm telling you that, bro. This guy is confusing as fuck.
the place I think you can hear in that neighbor's house, I guess, is like in the house is like the yard. I feel like the yard is the place where you can hear the most things. Like, so if you were gonna hear something that happened at that house, it'd probably be the yard. Like I feel like the sounds inside, I'm guessing, wouldn't carry as much. Just because like again, I think that yard is sort of like almost an amphitheater set up a little bit. You know, it's like it's got the hill and it's like down a little bit, and then above it is like the parking lot and another hill. So it's like I don't know, it's kind of like a meteor like hole in a sense. And so like I think probably like you know like in the middle the sound probably resonates around.
That makes sense. And you can call me Patches is also saying college towns are just noise sometimes. It's hard to tell what's what. A request for clarification. Back to the SUV one more time that you saw. Can you
I don't
clarify?
think
There's some
so.
confusion in chat. Okay, so you're saying you don't
I don't
think
know
the
though.
SUV you
I
saw
don't.
was
She
Kaylee's
drove a
car.
Ford. I don't know. Ford's not that luxury to me. I don't think I would have noticed that. I mean, it's a nice car, but I don't think it wouldn't stand out to me. I don't know. It just stood out to me because you know, like
Well, there it is. I think the girl got a new Ford Escape because that's the fucking car that I saw after the in the crime scene inside the tape was a Ford Escape, and that's what the question was asked about them. Are you considering a Ford Escape a luxury vehicle? And he's saying no, that's not the vehicle. So was there another vehicle there that he's seen? I don't know. I don't remember him saying that.
That makes sense. And you can call me Patches is also saying college towns are just noise sometimes. It's hard to tell what's what. A request for clarification. Back to the SUV one more time that you saw. Can you
I don't
clarify?
think
There's some
so.
confusion in chat. Okay, so you're saying you don't
I don't
think
know
the
though.
SUV you
I
saw
don't.
was
She
Kaylee's
drove a
car.
Ford. I don't know. Ford's not that luxury to me. I don't think I would have noticed that. I mean, it's a nice car, but I don't think it wouldn't stand out to me. I don't know. It just stood out to me because you know, like I drive kind of a sketchy car, and it's kind of decked out, and it's like I don't know. I noticed like I've always been into like you know cars with like rims and tinted windows and stuff like that, and this was like one of those cars I'd be like, man, probably if I was younger and rich, I probably would have bought it. So I think that's why it stood out to me. But like, yeah, it
Okay.
just you know it seemed like you know either a baller or like somebody's rich parents. Is kind of how I saw it.
Yeah, that makes sense. What's the speculation? Do you talk to neighbors? What are people saying about this? You know, it's been
No,
4
I'm
weeks
a
and there's
hermit.
no
I'm super
police.
hermit. I don't
Okay.
really talk to anyone. I talk to a few of my really old friends. I talk
How convenient that you are a hermit, sir. How convenient is it that you are a hermit?
to I hang with my co
A hermit living on a college campus. Ha! Fuck you.
workers sometimes. Um, and most of the time I'm super busy in my crafts. Like I don't know. I have a yeah, and I have like I don't know. there's like a girl I hang out with, and that's about it.
Okay. Okay. Um, does it make you nervous at all that this is unsolved? Do you feel
A
nervous?
little bit, yeah.
A little bit?
This, I mean, it's pretty brutal and like, I don't know, thought out killing, I guess. Like, it's like,
How do you know how brutal it was? I mean, we all can assume, and we all do assume, but how do you know that it was brutal? Do you know which ones fought back and which ones didn't?
kind of scary, and it also kind of scary that it just happened to some ordinary people. So I think everyone's a little bit spooked now. You know what I mean? Like, I guess in the city, this shit's like semi-normal or whatever, but like not here. Like, I don't know. So I don't know. It's kind of scary that this would happen ever. Like, especially in this town. So.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's like you think about it, it's like, what kind of protection can you get in these cases? Like, you can lock your windows, you can like, put strips and stuff, you can get a gun, but like this dude like went in the house and killed them before he act, they grab a gun or whatever and left.
What are you saying, guy? That you know that the killer was there before they came home and fell asleep? What are you saying right there, bud?
So,
Yeah.
and it's like, it's like you think about it, it's like, what kind of protection can you get in these cases? Like, you can lock your windows, you can like, put strips and stuff, you can get a gun, but like this dude like went in the house and killed them before they could really react. They grab a gun or whatever and left, and not anybody knowing. Like, that's scary. You know what I mean? So like thinking about people doing that out, especially like on your block, is pretty spooky.
Yeah. That absolutely. It is. It's and thank you. Hello from England. We are so sorry to hear such a horrific crime, they said. Thank you so much. Um, have you talked to law enforcement since that first day they came over and asked you if you'd heard anything or where you
Uh,
were
yeah, I did once.
once? Did they
Yeah.
come over to the neighborhood again to talk to everyone, or did you go talk to them about
No, I
what you
wouldn't.
heard,
I just talked to them later.
okay. Um, anything else you want to tell us about that, or is that a
No,
off
not
the
really.
record thing? Okay.
That's all.
What the fuck? Over. What the fuck? 13 fucking times. Really? Bro, if you're gonna go on to a fucking interview, bro, you better be ready to answer some questions. I know we're not law enforcement, she's not law enforcement, but bro, really? Are you just trying to stir up the web sleuths? Because that's exactly what you're fucking doing right now, bud.
The record show.
Horrific crime, they said. Thank you so much. Um, have you talked to law enforcement since that first day they came over and asked you if you'd heard anything or where you were
Yeah, I did once.
once? Did they
Yeah.
come over to the neighborhood again to talk to everyone, or did you go talk to them about
No, I
what you
wouldn't.
heard, or
I just talked to them later.
okay. Um, anything else you want to tell us about that, or is that a
No,
off
not
the
really.
record thing? Okay.
That's off the record, chef.
Thank you. And by the way, this is a channel where I will ask a lot of questions, but I also respect my guests. For those wondering if something's off the record or you don't ever want to answer, that's all you need to say and we move on. So thank you. You posted on your Facebook. I'm going here, by the way, to my phone to look at questions that I have written for you. And I'm also getting questions over in chat. While I look, you have mentioned on your own social media pages and even posted some of the proof that you've been getting harassed yourself and feeling the wrath of true crime sleuth and speculation. Can you tell us a little bit about that or what you've been going through?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's kind of, I mean, it's almost hilarious to me that people think I did it, and they're like they're like telling me like, "Yo, you did it," and it's like, I don't know. It's kind of like the equivalent to like flat Earth theory to me when I like read some of these like Reddit conspiracies and shit. I don't know. I've been mostly ignoring it, but try sometimes I read it and it gets to me, but I don't know. It's the other time it's just like it's almost entertaining to me, but it's a little bit scary too. I'm like, what are these people trying?
Entertaining to you that people might be falsely accusing you, which I haven't accused him of shit. I'm just saying he is fucking weird. Um, it's entertaining to you that these people are trying to um, solve a case and could potentially, bring a lot of fucking drama to your life. You think that's entertaining? Is that why you're on this show right now? What the fuck, guy?
Get me, but it's whatever.
Yeah. Cheshire Cat is saying, are there cameras in the area? Do you think anyone might have been able to catch anything that happened?
I
What are your
doubt
thoughts?
very many. Nope, there's not a lot of thefts or break-ins or murders or really anything that happens here. A lot of people leave their doors unlocked, windows unlocked. It's generally pretty safe. Our our apartment complex didn't even really have lights in like the hallway or cameras until like right after. Then they put up like some motion sensors and stuff. But
Oops. Okay. Who is he? He is the person that lives across the street from 1122 King Avenue in Idaho, which is where four college students were killed, murdered, stabbed. And this guy's getting entertainment about being accused of being a murderer?
like there's like for the most part this neighborhood's like pretty dark, and we kind of I don't know, I kind of liked it. You know what I mean? It's like at night, like there's no lights, and you kind of go to sleep really easily. Um,
Aha! Noticing that there is no lights at night, it's extra dark, no street lights. Good place to do something like this. But I mean, I'm not saying he did it. I'm just saying, what is he doing?
but yeah, I don't think very many people have cameras because they don't really feel in this neighborhood or whatever. Most people know people too, so it's like whatever.
I disagree. Okay, I understand murders don't happen in Moscow, Idaho all the time. However, people do get broken into. Drunk drivers do crash into people's fucking properties and other cars, especially in that type of neighborhood, the way the streets are made up. And oh, yeah, most parents that take their kids to this college have money enough to fucking put cameras up so they can keep an eye on their children.
Yeah, it's not a really sketchy neighborhood, like just a bunch of college kids. Yeah,
Right.
I know apparently some of them has had like doorstep neighbors, and I know like, just in the 21st century, a lot of people have like security cameras, so there's like probably some stuff around, but it's like me, like I bought a cam for my car just, in case whatever, but it's been like, like a year.
So you bought a door cam for your car? Which one was it? I mean, this dude is fumbling all over his words. Okay, he bought a dash cam for his car, not a door cam.
And I still haven't put it in my car, so like,
Oh, wow.
like
Yeah.
that's
Oh, really? Oh, okay. Just buy it and not put it in your car at all. That's one of those things that you buy at the store, and it should never leave your car because why is it going to go in your house? You leave it in your car so you can install it in your car. Oh God.
how fake. Oh, I know
He's just saying, he just slipped up, and now he's saying, oh, well, I do have a car camera, but no, no, I never put it in, so no, there is no footage of anything on that thing that I want you to see.
apparently some one of them has had like doorstep neighbors, and I know like just they don't really feel unsafe in this neighborhood or whatever. Most people know people too, so it's like whatever. Yeah, it's not a really sketchy neighborhood, like just a bunch of college kids. Yeah,
Right.
I know apparently some one of them has had like doorstep neighbors, and I know like just in the 21st century a lot of people have like security cameras, so there's like probably some stuff around, but it's like me, like I bought a cam for my car just in case whatever, but it's been like a year and I still haven't put it in my car, so like
Oh, wow.
like
Yeah.
that's how safe it's like I just like never really felt the need to like actually put it up, but now I'm like I should definitely put that shit up. I wish I had it
But you felt the need to buy it, guy.
up now, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Would people sleep with their doors open in this?
the need to like actually put it up, but now I'm like I should definitely put that shit up. I wish I had it up now, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Would people?
He said, I wish I had it on mount. Well, I mean, they come with a mount. When you buy it, it comes with the mount for it, bro.
Would people sleep with their doors open in this town? Is that kind of the protocol?
I don't know about that far, but I'm not gonna say it's never happened. I accidentally walked into somebody's house because the door was open, and I was trying to go to a friend's house when I was like 17.
Oh, another thing that I've never done, and I've been a drunk son of a bitch. For plenty of years, I was a drunk son of a bitch. But you know what? I've never fucking just randomly walked into somebody else's house. What?
And I like actually put it up, but now I'm like I should definitely put that shit up. I wish I had it up now, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Would people sleep with their doors open in this town? Is that kind of the protocol?
I don't know about that far, but I'm not gonna say it's never happened. I accidentally walked into somebody's house because the door was open, and I was trying to go to a friend's house when I was like 17. And I like opened it up, and it was just like some dude sitting on the couch. I was like, oops. Uh, Shut the
Yeah.
door back to halfway. It was like, oops. Went to the next house. It's like, oh, cool. This is the right one.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Conflicted angel.
Uh, Shut the
Yeah.
door back to halfway. It was like, oops. Went to the next house. It's like, oh, cool. This is the right one.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Conflicted angel. A lot of people are just asking for confirmation, which I actually really value. As a journalist, I was a television reporter for 10 years. It's really good to hear and see things and then to ask for more confirmation always. So they're asking, is this actually you commenting on Reddit doing the AMA? They want to know
Yes.
that. Yes, this is him. Thank you. Thank you for answering that. Thank you, Sleuth Mom, for reminding people that this is very true. I'm trying to read everything in chat, and some moderators are helping a bit, but I am missing some things. You can send and post something in a super chat or leave something in comment, but I don't know if we'll have the same guest again. So I'll do my best though to get to your questions. And thank you again for being here. A lot of thank yous are coming through for you being here and coming forward. So
I'm curious to wonder what they're thanking him for.
what have you heard anything about the alcohol offense at 3 a.m.? Do you know about that? It was behind the Sigma Chi house, and we have body cam footage from that. Do you know anything about that or heard of
I
that?
haven't. It's the first I've heard of it. I don't
Okay.
really pay attention to the media or news really at all. I'm a stick
Really? Well, what got you here today, bud?
juggler. I kind of in my own world most of the time. But yeah, no. I don't. I'm super hermit. I kind of like. I live like one of the most introverted lives you can imagine. But no, I'm curious though. Tell me about it.
Well, it was and
I'm sorry, but he does not look like he doesn't know about what we're about to hear about. I'm sorry. Like the way he just said, I'm curious about it. Let me know about it, or go ahead, let me know. Um, I I just think this guy's a fucking blatant liar, just lying. Doesn't mean that he's the killer, but he's a fucking liar. Lousy actor. Absolutely. How you doing, Kat? What? Oh my God, this guy is way too weird, man.
Already have one correction. Thank you to everyone in chat helping me with these little details. It was on the band field. It was about 3 a.m. There's body cam footage now that has come out from it. It was the morning of the murders. So people are, zeroing in.
It was not just the morning of the murders. It was at 3 a.m. on the dot. It was at 3 o'clock when the fucking officer made contact with three people, so close to where you can actually see the house in the background. Coroner says that this murder happened between 3 and 5.
Different things they're seeing in the body cam footage that was released, taken on the band field at 3 a.m. And I know that you sometimes hear things, not always. You say you were asleep all night. What time did you go to bed that night, by the way?
Um, I don't know. I'm probably
Whoa! Holy shit. How do you not know what time you went to bed that night? Bro, you've talked to the cops twice already. They came to your house that morning. One, they asked you that question. Trust me, they asked you that question. I'm not asking if they did. They did. You willingly went to speak to them. That's what your story is. And you still gotta reach deep into your mind to find out what time you went to bed that night on November 12th?
around like 2:30 to 4 a.m.
Zeroing in on different things they're seeing in the body cam footage that was released, taken on the band field at 3 a.m. And I know that you sometimes hear things, not always. You say you were asleep all night. What time did you go to bed that night, by the way?
Um, I don't know. I'm probably around like 2:30 to 4 a.m.
How can you say that you were asleep all night and then say that you didn't go to sleep until 2:30 or 4 a.m.? Bro, people need, like, not the web sleuths. No. Investigators need to do a follow up on this guy after this interview. I'm just saying. I'm sorry. That's what I'm getting from this. This dude is very, very suspect, man.
Zeroing in on different things they're seeing in the body cam footage that was released, taken on the band field at 3 a.m. And I know that you sometimes hear things, not always. You say you were asleep all night. What time did you go to bed that night, by the way?
Um, I don't know. I'm probably around like 2:30 to 4 a.m.
Okay.
I don't really look at the time after I get at home, so it's all just like an estimate, but that's probably the
So, you being a hermit, a self admitted hermit, couldn't have got home at 2:30 when you fell asleep. Because you're a hermit, right? So, what are we even saying, dude? Let me hear this again.
around like 2:30 to 4 a.m.
Okay.
I don't really look at the time after I get at home, so it's all just like
I don't really look at the time after I get home. But you're a hermit, dude. You were already home, weren't you? You're a hermit, bro. Hermits don't go out. So there's a lie there.
an estimate, but that's probably the range based off of the activities I was doing.
Yeah.
Based off the activities that I was doing. Bro, that sounds like a fucking answer that you wanted to say because you know the cops are listening.
One more comment.
An estimate, but that's probably the range based off of the activities I was doing.
Yeah. One more confirmation having to do with SUVs, but now this is sometimes hear things, not always. You say you were asleep all night. What time did you go to bed that night?
My fault. Okay. NSC lady, it says after he almost said get back. So let's see what he's talking about. I think Kat's saying that he almost slipped up. Let's see if we can catch him.
There's body cam footage now that has come out from of the murders. So people are, zeroing in on different things they're seeing in the body cam footage that was released, taken on the Banfield at 3 a.m. And I know that you sometimes hear things, not always. You say you were asleep all night. What time did you go to bed that night, by the way?
I don't know. I'm probably around like 2:30 to 4 a.m.
Okay.
I don't really look at the time after I get home, so it's all just like an estimate.
Oh, yes. He almost said after I get back. Back from where? I mean, you're a hermit. I mean, if nothing else, you're a hermit, bud. Back from where? Good catch, Cat. Good catch.
I don't know. I'm probably around like 2:30 to 4 a.m.
Okay.
I don't really look at the time after I get home, so it's all just like an estimate. But that's probably the range based off of the activities I was doing.
Yeah. One more confirmation.
You got a booger, bro. You have a booger on your nose right there. I'm just letting you know.
Having to do with SUVs, but now this is about Kaylee's or some. Can you confirm if there was a black?
Gross, bro. You keep sucking the booger in and then letting it back out. It's gross. I'm sorry. This is fucking disgusting. Stop doing it.
Just like an estimate, but that's probably the range based off of the activities I was doing.
Yeah. One more confirmation having to do with SUVs, but now this is about or some. Can you confirm if there was a black Explorer that was parked there daily? It was parked behind a red Jeep inside the crime scene tape. Everybody was sort
I
of.
don't think it was that one. No, I'm gonna review the footage again, but I don't think it was that one.
Okay. Did you see a black Explorer that was parked there daily with crime scene tape around? Or did you notice the vehicles that
Yeah,
were
I
inside the crime scene
think
tape?
so. I think I noticed a lot of like dark SUVs, and I just kind of assumed they were like FBI or police or something. But this was like this. I'm pretty sure this other car was different. And it had out of state plates. That's one of the things I noticed about it. I think this one didn't have out of state. The Ford Explorer, or whatever. I don't think that had out of state plates. I could be wrong, but this one definitely had.
Seems like he's trying to push some kind of narrative pretty hard, doesn't it? Doesn't it? He is pushing that shit hard. Yes, I was just about to mention that, Stingray. His eyes are fucking. They tell a story in themselves. His eyes. And yeah, Cat. I'm sorry. I had to point that out though.
State plates. That's one of the things I noticed about it. I think this one didn't have out of state. The Ford Explorer, or whatever. I don't think that had out of state plates. I could be wrong, but this one definitely had. It was like I almost want to say it was Utah, honestly, but it was like barrenish. It was night. It was hard to see, but it was like barren plates, like deserty. It's like Arizona or Utah, Colorado, Montana. It's like mountainy, maybe. I think it might have been mountainy, but yeah. So those are. I only saw two cars that had out of state plates. So
Okay. Julie is asking, genuinely curious. She's not being confrontational.
I agree, Moonrain. 100%. He's trying to throw either investigators or web sleuths or somebody onto a different track. I'm not sure. I don't know. And why did he voluntarily go talk to the police again? Because did he find out that they were going somewhere with leads, or did he remember about a certain camera somewhere and he had to explain something? I don't know. But I doubt the whole town is
fucking running to the sheriff's department to give them information. I mean, why would you do that? What else did you have? And you gave it to the police already. So why aren't you coming out with it?
And I can
Oh,
confirm
no,
that
you're good.
because Julie is a very curious person. She's
Vaulted
curious.
ceilings.
Why would
Vaulted
an introvert
ceilings.
move to a party town? Go ahead. Sorry.
This is the only place I could afford with vaulted ceilings. So I could juggle at home. I need like at least like 10, 11, 12, 13-foot clearance. So it's hard to find. The apartments like that are hard to find anywhere. So and like the ones with vaulted ceilings are usually like luxury places. So you have to pay like a premium for them. So this was cool. I was living in Pullman, so I was like paying a lot, and I had because of my felonies, I couldn't really move anywhere for 7 years. So after 7,
Oh, fuck! Oh, shit, this guy is just fucking Christmas early, isn't he? You are fucking Christmas, bro! Fucking Saint Nick over here! Holy shit! Couldn't fucking do shit for 7 years because of a felony, bud. Whoa!
years, it's hard to find. The apartments like that are hard to find anywhere. So and like the ones with vaulted ceilings are usually like luxury places. So you have to pay like a premium for them. So this was cool. I was living in Pullman, so I was like paying a lot, and I had because of my felonies, I couldn't really move anywhere for 7 years. So after 7 years, I instantly moved into the first place available with vaulted ceilings. And this is where I ended up.
Gotcha. I will admit, I've been admiring the ceilings in the background. They're beautiful. Those wood ceilings.
Yeah, pretty dope place.
Yeah. Miss Wales asked, did the dog bark lots, or did you know? And I think they're referring to Murphy.
I did not know the dog.
Okay.
No, I never met the dog. I didn't know there was a dog until pretty recently, actually. Someone asked me why they.
How recently? Like when you were inside that motherfucker on November 13th?
Dog was spared.
Okay, I'm not accusing him. I'm just triggered. Leave me alone.
And that's the first time I heard about the dog.
Okay. And did you hear any dogs barking ever? Were dogs typically barking in the neighborhood or nothing?
No, not really. Not usually. It's usually decently quiet at night, I feel like. Sometimes I don't know. I usually don't hear a lot of animals, honestly.
Decently quiet at night sometimes. All right. Thanks, bud. Very informative.
If my cat will maybe make a dog bark every once in a while, but that's about it.
Yeah. Again, our deal here is this is like, consider this like Reddit AMA. You can answer any questions here you want, and you don't have to answer any questions you want. But Jamie is asking, he says, where did it go? Someone is asking, this was not it, but somebody was asking if you wanted to go further. They mentioned you had a felony, and you talked a little bit about this on Reddit AMA. Do you want to go into that now, or?
I've got 3. Well, I don't have 3 anymore. They're expired, so they're off my record now. As of like 3 years ago. So It's been like 10 years. But yeah, I had 3. I had a possession of marijuana. Had a possession of MDMA with intent to deliver, and I had a delivery of MDMA.
Okay. Thank you for sharing that. Oh, and let's see. We lost you for a bit. Are you back?
Yeah.
You're back. Can we hear you? Okay, yeah. We can hear you. All right.
Wait a minute. Who the fuck is not able to leave their county or wherever they're at for 7 years on a felony charge on some drugs? I don't know. And MDMA, I'm not sure what that is. I know it's like a pill, or is it what makes a pill or something? I don't fucking know. Yeah, I don't believe a fucking word that's coming out of his mouth. I'd like to know his first and last name, and we'll find out what the fuck his real, like what really he had to stay in place for 7 years was about.
Thank you, Stephanie B, for reminding everyone that's here to please, if you like these types of interviews, hit like and subscribe It helps us know what we should continue doing as a channel. And Liz is asking, this is
3 to 4. Okay, I'm not even going to try to say that. Is a synthetic drug that alters mood and perception, awareness of surroundings, objects. Okay, so it's a pill, or do you smoke it? Do you snort it? Do you slam it? Into date rape, and you can move that. Okay, so is MDMA a date rape drug? Primarily used for recreational purposes, the desired effects include altered sensations, increased energy, so not a date rape drug, empathy and pleasure. It sounds like ecstasy. Felonies don't disappear. You can't expunge a felony? I don't know. I've never had a felony to expunge. I've never even tried to expunge any of my my past is just my past, you know. I'm not trying to expunge anything. I mean, you got to really be ashamed of something that you did. You must have done something really bad to want to expunge your shit. I mean, right? I mean, just because you fucking expunge it doesn't mean that you didn't do it. It can be. It can be. It's very potent. Okay, kind of what? What are we saying kind of about? And it can be. Okay, so what are we saying? Or again, I don't really know anything about this drug or whatever. But I did hear him say with an intent to sell. So, you know, he could be and he's an older guy, it seems like. He could be I mean, the plug is not usually the one that goes on live streams to talk about a fucking true crime or that happened across the street from your house. So, what the fuck? I don't think this guy is mentally there. Is my question. It can be used as a date rape drug. They can be expunged, but only through legal. He is into weird stuff. Yeah. Ian expunging a record for minors. What is MDMA and what? Action. In a mild dose, ecstasy causes increase in the release of dopamine and norepinephrine. Holy fuck. Stingray's coming with it. In a higher dose, MDMA acts as a serotonin agonist, causing an increase in serotonin release and blocking its uptake. I don't know. Thank you for that. I appreciate that info, though. I don't know. Let's just keep going. Obviously, you know, I don't know. Does he put off the ecstasy vibes? I mean, this guy looks like a fucking. This guy is not. At first, when I first started seeing this, I was like, okay, you know, just a fucking nosy neighbor or whatever, some dude that wants to be on fucking live stream. But this guy is, I mean, he's burying himself. Like someone said earlier, if the cops haven't went to speak to this guy yet, what the fuck? I agree 100%. I mean, what is his motive for even coming on here today? Like, he hasn't given anything of importance. He's just talking.
It's a great question. And I want to hit like and subscribe. It helps us know what we should continue doing as a channel. And Liz is asking, this is a great question. And I want to take this question a little bit further. She is asking, have there been any normal parties at the Sigma Chi house since the incident? Or any parties, or has it been really quiet?
No, I haven't. I haven't really noticed anything since then. But I honestly haven't been really I haven't been home as much lately on the weekends, but yeah, it's been pretty quiet, honestly. No, because there's definitely no parties at the late, and I think there was like maybe one, but I can't really remember anything outside of that. It's been
So they had one. They had one. Interesting.
pretty tame recently.
Okay. Yeah, has it been quieter around town since this event? Not
Yeah, I
event.
mean,
That
it's
was
also well, also like you have to think about it too, like the cops are everywhere,
horrible
right?
crime.
Like nobody wants to party. Like the cops are like there's like probably like 20 cops parked in like the parking lot next to our neighborhood. Like, and there's like probably like another five like in the house like all day. There's always one that's there all night. So it's like I don't think anyone's trying to party with, you know what I mean? Like for whatever reason. So it's kind of funny. I thought they were like, just trying to like speed trap and pull people over for like the first few weeks, but then I realized just nonstop working on this case. So they're always here. But I'm sure people are trying to throw parties with that happening. You know what I mean?
Right. Totally. Liz, thank you. And I want to correct my words. I called what has happened 4 weeks ago an event. What I mean is an absolutely horrendous crime and tragedy. Forgive my sometimes not the best words I use. I don't mean to. Lives can be hard while I'm multitasking with chat. There was a great question from Julie Holden. I don't see it now, but essentially, has the restaurant you work in, without telling us what that restaurant is, has it been quieter? That
No,
might be good.
I mean, people can't stop telling me about the conspiracy theories, and it's actually been providing a little bit of humor in these times, because they're pretty hilarious individuals. So like I don't know, they just keep like making fun of these new conspiracies, and so it's for sure. Um, the
Yeah.
the first week it was really quiet. I didn't say like probably like really anything for the first few days. Like I was at work after it happened, but after a few weeks, it's starting to get better. Um, I don't know. I have the other day I was thinking about it and I was pretty quiet, but we've been trying to like I don't know. It's best to just try not to think about it, right now. But it's hard also because like we're surrounded by it everywhere. But
Right. Yeah, speaking of speculations, you live in the neighborhood, which means there was somebody that, did this. Do you speculate without naming names? We don't want to name any names or anything or identify people on our channel, but do you ever speculate about who could have possibly done this?
I mean for sure, but no one fits the bill. Honestly, when I think about all my neighbors, I'm just like, no way. Like everyone, I think, even like, who might have killed them at the slightest inconvenience, is just completely irrational and ridiculous. Like when I think about any like individual personally, like any personal like neighbor, like anyone in this area, I'm just like, there's no way. Like they're all like pretty normal people. They all got their own shit going on. Um, to think of them doing this is just absurd. But
So with
yeah,
that being said, what none of your neighbors fit the bill. What type of person do you think this might have been? What do you think the motive was?
I am looking into the. I don't know if it's true, but someone I was looking into a report that said it was like almost a blunt, heavy object, and a really strong person did it. I'm kind of imagining like maybe like a hunter dude, like some like super mentally ill dude who's with hunting, who has like some type of like farm blunt stabbing object and just like really waited patiently until everything was really quiet. Like maybe he knew about this weekend was being quiet and then went in there and did it. But I don't know. It's like it's so bizarre. Like nothing. Thinking about it's hard to think about it because I think the first thing I try to think about is a motive, and that's like it just draws me into a bunch of blanks. So
You know what's crazy, Kat, is he looks identical to some dude that I went to high school with, and I mean identical to him. That's crazy. Um, but let's listen to this last statement here because it looks like this is going to be his last statement.
Like some type of like farm blunt stabbing object, and just like really waited patiently until everything was really quiet. Like maybe he knew about this weekend was being quiet and then went in there and did it. But I don't know. It's like it's so bizarre. Like nothing. Thinking about it's hard to think about it because I think the first thing I try to think about is a motive, and that's like it just draws me into a bunch of blanks. So yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean, there's like, there's surrounding areas that have like just have a history of lead poisoning. So like, you
We lost you for a bit, or at least on my end. If you want to I'm going to try to refresh this and see while we can see if we get him back to ask him more questions. Somebody's asking if he was paid for this interview. Absolutely not. This was something I requested, and he willingly did as volunteer. He is not being paid.
Well, I appreciate that clarification from her, letting us know that she reached out to him.
And Hidden True Crime has never paid for an interview, nor have we been paid for an interview we've done. Let's see. I'm going to try to remove and bring him back. Nothing. Chef Dizzy, if you can hear me, try refreshing. We'll wait for a little bit longer. I am seeing chats. They are going very, very fast. Stick with me here to see if we might have fully lost him now. But again, we'll wait for a little bit and see if he can't get back on.
Why did they lose him? What was it? What did he drop out? It looks like he picked at his chicken pox or something when he was younger or something. It looks like a chicken pox scar. If you had chicken pox back in the day and you picked that motherfucker, you're gonna have a big ass scar like that.
The link. Correct. Thank you, Colette. He was not compensated. He did not barter, and he did not ask for anything in exchange for this interview. And then again, I want to go further. While my husband and I have been doing interviews with News Nation, today I did one with Inside Edition and some other places that haven't aired any interviews. We have never been paid for any interviews we have done. We believe in the journalistic process and all sharing what we know to help. I think we might have genuinely lost him. I'm going to just check my messages to see if he's writing anything, and we'll go from there.
Well, all in all, I think she did a good job on the interview. There's a few things that I think she let him slide on, but I don't want to say it was a good interview, really, because I mean, it's only raising more questions, and but it is what it is. Thanks, guys, for hanging with me. I'm going to put the channel link in the description of this video so you guys can go there and check her out. The channel name is Hidden True Crime. So, thanks a lot for watching, guys. Have a good one.